Says check. You're now live.
Hi. Okay, so Marion here with Mama Cheesecake doing another bake for you all. Today I put this up so that people can see this. This is today's bake. We're actually going to do a pâté choux, which is a French pastry. And it's generally, you put something sweet in it, or you could do something savory. Things like cream puffs, profiteroles, also eclairs. Hey Monique, how are you? And also, hey, Via Roma, love it, you guys, love everything you guys are doing. So there is so many different things that you can do with these cream puffs that are so easy. And the reason I decided I wanted to do them for you all is that I think most of us think, oh my gosh, a cream puff, an eclair, or something as crazy as a profiterole, that there's no way you can make it. But believe it or not, you actually can. So let's get baking. And so I'm going to start right now with making the actual cream, the pastry itself. So I've got a cup of water in here, and to that I'm going to add half a teaspoon of salt. Let's get this going.
Maddie's on.
Hi. And my sister is helping me with Instagram in there. Let's see, we've got Laura. Hey Laura, how you doing? Carla, hey Carla. And Liz, hey, how's it going, you guys? So I can see Facebook people, and my sister has the Instagram running. So hopefully you guys, I'm looking right in the right spot so I can see everybody. All right, so I just added 1 cup of water. There is in here half a teaspoon of salt. And now we're going to put in a teaspoon of organic sugar. And to that, we're going to add butter. Because, you know, you can't have a French pastry without having some butter in there, right? So let me get rid of this. And now the fun part is waiting for it to boil. So you have to get that water to boil. Let's see, Liz, Carla's asking, can you make croquembouche? We were just talking about that. That is so cool. I am going to attempt a croquembouche. I think that would be so much fun. Have you guys seen that? That's like a tower. It looks like a tower of cream puffs going up. And then it's like caramel that's drizzled all over it where it gets hard. So it's not the caramel that we know that has cream in it. It's without the cream. So it's more of a sugar bake. And you just drizzle that and it holds everything in place and it's beautiful looking. Look it up. It's called croquembouche. Let's see what else. So I'm going to try it, Carla. I'm going to put one together.
Maddie says she has to leave.
Okay.
She's in El Salvador.
Oh my goodness,
Please
Maddie. I will put it on Instagram so you'll be able to see it, Maddie. Thank you for joining. Thank you. Liz, hey, hi, how are ya? So, yes, and then, oh, we've got Rachel. Hey, Rach from New Hampshire. Yay. Here with wine. Well, just to let you know, where is it? Because we're doing a French bake, I thought I had to have some wine here, too. I haven't had any yet, though, just to let you all know. Let me put that back. Just thought I'd share that. So here's, while we're waiting for this to boil, here's some interesting facts about a pâté choux. It is a French bake, pastry, but did you know that it was actually an Italian chef that discovered or created a pâté choux? What happened is he actually was part of a group that was bringing over a young woman to France who was going to be marrying one of the King Henrys. I'm sorry, I have no idea what the name was. And anyway, they came down there and he ended up living in France, so he brought the pâté choux. So I thought that was really interesting. All this time I thought it was French. Here's another interesting thing. I don't know if you can see it up on top. I've got my little French cookie cutter, Paris, the Eiffel Tower, and I'm going to be using my ooh la la, or bonjour, because it's France, people. It came from France, or that we know. So anyway, I'm going to be doing that, and thank you to Maureen and to Acacia and Lauren Mora, because they're the ones who gave me that French stuff. They know I love anything French. Okay, so we're almost...
Squishy P is on.
Who?
Squishy P.
Oh yeah, hey, how are you? Okay, I'm trying to... It's starting to boil. So we're getting right in there. Any questions, anybody, while we're hanging out? Let's see. Oh, Carla said thank you in terms of making the croquembouche. That's going to be so much fun. I
Cynthia
think.
Torres is on.
Hey, Cynthia, how's it going? Yeah, so we're going to do a couple of different things with this. We'll call it a cream puff, but it's also a profiterole. And I'll be real honest, I tried looking up what the difference was between the two. I've always wondered if someone happens to know, please feel free to let me know. But what I had read was that a profiterole is actually frozen at some point, as where a cream puff is used out there. Let's see. Milk or water to start. You missed it. I know Rachel was asking, ooh, and mine is starting to boil, so I've got to go. It's water.
Carla.
And we're going to make sure everything is melted down, so I'm just mixing this around. I'm going to turn this down a little bit.
Vinny.
And hi, as everybody starts to jump on, I'm like mixing this around. Okay, now I have 1 cup of all-purpose flour. And just in case someone does ask, it can be done gluten-free. And I will do that as gluten-free, and I will post it and let you guys know for those of you that are gluten-free. So I'm going to go ahead and put my flour all in there. And then what you do, oops, sorry for the noise, you're just going to mix that flour all in there, and you got to mix it hard. I suggest when you do this, wooden spoons are the best thing to use. And you're just going to mix this around, and the bigger the spoon is, the easier it is to do this. And what you're doing now is very quickly it forms into a dough. I'm sure you might not be able to see it. Anna Marie, can you get a picture of that?
Yeah.
Okay, so now what you do is you want to cook off, you kind of want to dry it a little bit. You don't want to burn it, you don't want to color it, but you do want to get a film. And I can already see the start of a film. I don't know if you all, Anna Marie, if you can catch that. On Facebook, I can't move that camera, so sorry guys. But it turns into this nice dry ball, and you're just going to kind of roll it around. Again, you don't want to overcook it. You don't want any colorization to it, which is why I turned down the flame. Okay, we're done. And so now I'm going to turn this off and take that, and I'm going to drop it right into my bowl. And this bowl that I have here, I always like to, a lot of people will take their bowls or their pots that they're cooking it in and let it stay in there and cool it down. But I use a very heavy bottom silver stainless steel pot, and I know it's going to take a long time. So I put it into another bowl that's already cooled down, just to kind of help it. I'm going to hit the timer for 4 minutes so we can let that, because the next step is going to be adding eggs. We're going to add 4 eggs to this.
Marianne is on.
Hey Marianne, how are ya? We're going to add 4 eggs to this, and you don't want those eggs to cook up, so we're going to let that cool off. Rachel, let me answer that question of yours. It's 1 cup of water in a medium sauce pot. It's 1 stick of butter, so I cut the butter down just to make it hopefully faster to melt. Half a teaspoon of kosher salt, 1 teaspoon organic sugar, and all-purpose flour. So that's what we have going right now. Let me see, I think Rachel just asked another question. Oh, thank you, Rachel. She said I'm really pretty. Hey, Rebecca, how are ya? So, any other questions? So this one does not have milk, but if you look up, you're going to find a lot of recipes that have milk. I wanted to stick to a really traditional pâté choux, and so I decided not to add milk in mine. I'm going to, back here, I've got and I'm going to turn it off now. I think it's good. I've got chocolate going because we're going to do a little cream, a little sauce to pour over.
A drizzle?
A drizzle, yes. But this is not going to be just any kind. We're going to kind of dress it up a little bit. So that's why I have this on there, and I'm going to actually remove it and put it on this towel. And we'll let that come down a little bit in temperature. Okay, so we're almost done. 2 minutes. Any questions out there? Let's see. So, don't you think that's interesting about the fact that it was an Italian chef that created it, and yet whenever you hear the name Pâté Choux or Choux, you always think, oh, that's French. So it is French. That's now, they've taken over it, basically, but it was an Italian who created it. Okay, so we're going...
Acacia's on.
Hey, Acacia, how are you? Acacia, look what I have, what I'm using. Because I'm doing a French pastry, I decided I had to bring out my little French stuff that you guys gave me. Okay, so this is almost cooled, and I just like to kind of mix it around. And again, you just want to make sure that you don't end up with scrambled eggs, which is why I actually like it cooled down. Some people say that you should cool it for 7 minutes. I actually have done 4 minutes, I've done 3 minutes, I've done 5 minutes. I'll tell you a little interesting fact. We've got 1 more minute to go. The very first time I did one of these, I was making cream puffs, and I wanted to take them over to our cousins, Marcus and William. It took me 4 batches before I got to like 5 that came out decently. Now I don't have that problem. They come out marvelous every single time. So if you guys follow these simple steps, one of them being that when you finish adding that flour and you get it in there, that you leave it on just for a few more minutes to dry that pastry out, to get that dough done. And we're counting down. I think we've got about 37 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and start. When you put it, we're going to use 4 eggs. Excuse me. When you put the eggs in, don't throw the eggs all in at one time. What you want to do is 1 egg at a time. There's some more people jumping on, or some questions. Okay, so, hey Kim, my niece Kim is on there. I'm doing this the old school way with just the wooden spoon, which is why I'm using a big one, because it's so much more easier than a skinny one. Instead of using a KitchenAid, or you can, if you look it up, you'll see that a lot of people use a food processor. However, again, I've been told we want to use things that we know everybody has in their home, which is why we're going to use good old elbow grease, because we all have that, right? So I'm going to go ahead and drop in 1 egg at a time. And if you've watched my bakes before, you know that I've always said that cracking your egg into a separate bowl is the smartest thing to do, because this way, if an eggshell drops in there, you can capture that eggshell right away. So as soon as you get 1 mixed in, get it as good as you can, then just go ahead and drop in the next egg. And then mix that on in. I'm going to come this way so I can chat at the same time. Let's see. Hey, Connie, how are you? Haven't seen you or heard from you in a while. Hi. How's everything going? All right, so we're getting this all mixed in. And see how it looks? It almost, you might think, is this right? Is it okay? It is. You just have to keep adding the eggs and it starts to all come together. My next egg. Get that mixed in. Kind of easier for me to stand here. It's okay if you don't see me. It's this that's the star, the pastry. When you do a cream puff or a profiterole, or if you do eclairs, because this same dough will give you eclairs as well, which is really awesome to do. I chose to do this one, and we're going to do 2 different fillings in it. Okay, and then we're going to drizzle 2 different types of drizzle. I figured one is adding powdered sugar, but everybody knows what powdered sugar is. Okay. And the last egg is going in, and this is now all starting to come together. Let me tell you, when I did this the other day, because, you know, you always want to make sure you have it right. When I did this the other day, I used a thin spoon, wooden spoon. And a wooden spoon is best to use, and I'll tell you the reason why, is that the wooden spoon, excuse me, this pastry dough is not going to stick to it as much as a regular spoon. And I've done that many times. Okay, we're like practically there. I'll show you what it looks like right now. as it all comes together. So I'm going to stand here for a second.
Maureen's on.
Hey Maureen, how are ya? Okay, so it has all come together and it looks beautiful. Can you see that?
Now I can.
Okay, and I don't know, can you all see that, Facebook? Okay, let's see. Now, when you want to find out whether this is completely done or not, there's a quick and easy way. When you mix this together and you pull it up, you want to know that it can hold a peak. If it doesn't hold a peak, it's not ready. And it's not holding a peak right now. The other thing you could do is use your finger, but in the days of COVID-19, we don't want to be sticking our hands in our food. So I am going to be using the test of my spoon here.
Someone from Furniture Spot
Well, hello there.
joined.
Okay, cool. All right, so again, we're going to take a really quick peek. Oh, it's almost done. You can see how the peak is like really coming out. When I did this the other day and I was using the small spoon, boy, was it tough. But this is still tough too. If you have a KitchenAid or if you have a food processor, please feel free to put it in there because it'll make it nice and easy. But if you don't, I don't want you to think you can't do the job. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Oh, wait, I think it was holding.
Can you move it down? Yeah.
So if you see, I'm just kind of dropping and it's folding over. So we don't want it to fold over. We actually want it to stay stiff. It's really a lot easier to use your finger and you put it between your finger and you go like this. And if the peak holds, then you know you're done. But again, days of COVID, I don't want to do that. So I'll do, oh, look, it's holding. Can you see that? That one was a big one, but the smaller ones hold. That means the dough is ready. So now what you do is get a pastry bag. I have my pastry bag. If you don't have a pastry bag, I don't know if you saw my churro bake. On that one, you could use a Ziploc bag and cut the bottom, the corner off. This is about 1/5 of an eighth or 1/8 of an inch, 5/8 of an inch, there you go. And round, that's the tip that I'm using here. And I'm just gonna show you a quick little tip. If you twist your bag and push it into the tip, it's gonna keep it from falling out the other end. Everyone says about holding it and then you can clean it. I'll do that for a while, but a lot of times what I actually like to do is I get a glass that I have that's nice and big and I set it right in there and it's so much easier. And then I don't have to mess with it. Not to mention, this arm is like, got a workout today. I'm gonna have to do something with my other arm so I can balance this out. Okay, so now get it in there. So I'm just trying to scoop this all in. The wooden spoon that I wanted to use is a wooden spoon that I have in my gluten-free box, so I couldn't use it. So I had to use this one, which isn't quite as good because this is almost like a little spatula. So it's hard to get the corners, but you guys get the idea. See how quick this went? I mean, this was really fast, you guys. I think that's good enough. Okay, so I'm going to move this out of the way. This is a wet cloth I use instead of using a bunch of paper towels. I'm going to pull my... Can you guys see the tray? Anne-Marie, can you see the tray?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to move it here just so you can see it a little bit better. Let's move this out of the way. And we're going to pull a sheet. If you don't have parchment paper, because I know it's difficult to find right now, you can also put, just butter your tray. I like to use, as much as possible, I like to use my parchment paper. Okay, so you just push all that down. Remember how I said about tucking it in? You pull it back out, and now you're ready, and you can twist it. So now you're going to make about 1.5 inches round. But before we start doing it, the dough is very tacky. So if I start putting this on my paper, the paper is going to lift. It's going to go all over the place. So instead, you put just a little dab. That's more than a little dab. No one's eating that, so I'm putting my finger on that one. On each corner. Let me take a little more from this side.
Is that to hold the paper?
Yes, that's to hold the paper in place. So this way, when you're putting these down, your paper is going to stick and not bounce all over the place. And if you don't get right at 1.5 inches, that's okay. And if you want to make big ones, feel free to do that too. There is nothing that says you can't. Now, I'm just doing 3 little rolls.
Deborah's on.
Hey, Deborah. And I'm going round. And what I'm doing, there's a couple of things I'll show you. When you do this, if you pull it straight up, can you see that, Anna Marie?
Yes.
There's a little peak, and I'll talk about that peak in a second. But what you do instead is swirl it around and just kind of stop squeezing, swirl it, and you're not going to get the peak. That's kind of a trick. If you guys have ever done French macarons, that's what you do with those also. So I'm just going to fill up. Now here's the cool thing. This recipe will actually make you 28 about 1.5 inch profiteroles or cream puffs, however you want to refer to it. And again, it's up to you on the size. But I know I checked this out the other day, and this was coming out to about 1.5. That I've got one there that's a little bit smaller. And I'm purposely making some points on some of these just so I could show you what to do. So I'll put this in here. Again, it works best if you use your finger, but again, days of COVID, we don't want to be sticking our fingers into the food. So even though everything, trust me, I wash my hands so much it's not even funny. Take a spoon and then just dip it in water, and all you're going to do is smooth out that little tip. And the reason why you want to smooth out the tip is because it's at the tip, that heat is going to get to it first. And if it gets to it first, guess what? You're going to have burned tips on your cream puffs, and you don't want to have that. Especially after all the hard work you've done, you want this to look perfect. So your guests can go, ooh, ah. You can make this for Mother's Day. How awesome would that be? And just smooth that out. And then you're going to get your egg wash. And all it is 1 egg, and I put in a tablespoon of water. Now, if your egg is an extra large egg, you want to use 2 tablespoons of water. This one was a decent large egg. And just with a pastry brush, all you're going to do is brush the tops. And this is so that you can get that nice top. That one's a little baby one. I almost want to squirt more on that one. But we're going to finish these up. Get these all nice and painted.
Kenna is on.
Kenna. Hey, Kenna, how are you? So, hey, don't forget, we got to figure out how to do a tea party. That'll be so much fun. I'll deliver bakes to you, and you can deliver tea, and we'll figure it out. Okay, so this is ready to go in the oven. When you do this, very important here. So make sure you hear this or write it down, or make sure you listen to this again and take note. It needs to go into an oven at 375 degrees. You want it high. And you're going to leave them in there for 30 minutes. Now, depending on your oven, it may be 25 to 30 minutes. But I'm going to give you another tip. You do not want to put these in the oven and then open your door and slam the door shut, because guess what? They will fall. They'll drop like rocks, and you're not going to like the way they come out. So we're going to put this in. Don't worry, I'm not going to keep you guys here for 30 minutes. We'll put these in. And guess what? The magic of TV. I guess I should have used at least a pot holder so it looked like I really had just finished baking them. Okay, so we're going to get ready to do this, but first we're going to come back to one of the toppings. This is chocolate, and I don't know if any of you remember, I've said that I love my dark chocolate. So I kind of did a combination of dark chocolate and semi-sweet chocolate. And I did 12 ounces, and I put that into half a cup of cream. So kind of like a ganache, right? There is no vanilla in here. Instead, we're going to add honey. How awesome is that? And you're going to put in 2 tablespoons of some luscious honey. Get one more, put that in there. Okay, maybe that was a little bit more than a tablespoon. We'll take some out and we'll drop that in. And then here's the other fun part. This is just a spoon. I have coffee in here. So if you have brewed coffee, if you don't have brewed coffee and you have to use instant, that's fine also. But you're going to use 2 tablespoons and drop that right on in. Doesn't that sound delish?
My mouth is watering.
Right? I know. So is mine. It's drooling. This is really bad. Okay, so now we're just going to mix this all together because we need a drizzle. I was going to do like a hard shell, but then I decided, no, let's do this instead. Because I love using honey instead of adding sugar to it. You don't need to add more sugar to anything. And with the dark chocolate together with the semi-sweet, ooh, this is going to be delish. Maureen, if you're still on, you can't see it so much anymore, but I'm using my Ooh La La spatula here because we're doing a French bake. Okay, I'm going to set this back. And over here, this has already been done. This is another thing. I was up in Los Olivos and I had purchased a balsamic, and it was a raspberry balsamic. And I decided, ooh, that sounds really good. So I made a drizzle out of the balsamic. I'm so excited to use it. We tested it last night, right, Anna Marie?
We sure did.
Wasn't it delicious? Yeah. Okay, so here's what we're going to do next. I'm looking for, oh, here it is. So guys, I could have done a cream. I could have done a whipping cream, but I'm Mama Cheesecake. So instead, I did some cheesecake. So we have vanilla bean. I've been using vanilla bean a lot. I really love vanilla bean. So what we're going to do next, I need to get a little knife out of here, sharpen it up, and we'll pick one. So you just take one of these, and all you're going to do is in the center, kind of just cut like a little cross in there. And then you're going to take your cream or whatever it is you decide to put in there. These would taste really good with something like chicken salad, and you would just slice it and you're going to just fill it. And the interesting thing is you can feel it starting to come out. Now, if I was putting these all together, I would have a lot more on there so that this way they can stack on top of each other. So I'm going to put that there. Let me do another one because I know our mother is here and I know she'll love eating these. So let me do another one. I guess I should have had these done beforehand. So we'll do 3. Make sure which ones are. Oh, that wasn't it. What's that mind game, you guys? That
the
you.
one on the left, Marion, on top.
Okay. Fill that up. Ooh, you can feel it. It just literally puffed at me. Which one? This
right,
one?
No. To the left, right there.
Oh, she's right. She was playing that mind game. Boy, I felt that one puff up too. So let me set this here. And I'm going to get a plate really quick. So that one. Oops. This one. And this one. And so, like I said, you could dust it with some powdered sugar, but that's too boring. So we're going to do some. I was trying to get this to go sideways. And we're going to just drizzle some of this raspberry balsamic. Oh my gosh. This tastes so good. And with that cheesecake in there, oh man. I'll call the expert in here in a second so she could try. That's my mom. Or our mom, I should say. The camera person's mother also. Drizzle that on because, oh, it's so yummy. So that's one. But we're going to take a serrated knife and we're going to just kind of slice almost all the way down. We'll make like it's a little mouth. Hello. And we'll put that there. Let's find a big one. Again, you're just going to cut down, and we'll do 3 of these. And this looks like a big one. We'll do this one. Hello, hello. I know, I touch these with my hand. I've been talking about not doing that. And I've got some ice cream over here, guys. So, let me just set this here. It's half like melted. We were worried about that, but I didn't want to have to be doing it. So you're just going to put that ice cream. Oh my God, look at that, you guys. Doesn't that look scrumptious? Can you see it? We'll put that right here. Let me get the other one. Open him up. My ice cream is really soft, but that's okay. That'll make it delicious. Set that one and one more. Dessert for tonight. Put that one in there. Guess what? Let me move those over. And these, we'll do that chocolate. Get that mixed. And we're just going to pour that. Look at that. Whoa. That one went down. I think it should be inside a bowl, don't you think? Or in a cup.
Ooh, that looks good.
Yeah, Okay, let's bring in an expert. Hey, Mom. Mom, come here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have you try this.
Try what?
Say hi to everybody on the camera. Come on,
Hi.
put your glasses on. Come here.
Hi.
Over here.
Oh.
They don't see you yet.
Hi.
Get in the frame. There you go.
Hi.
This
Oh
is my.
God.
Don't look at all that. All right. Here. This is a cream puff that has cheesecake in it. Try that. You want to try it?
Okay.
And that's not chocolate. It's a balsamic raspberry.
Delicious.
Did you all hear that? Okay. You can take it and go sit down. Take the plate because it'll squirt out the bottom.
Okay.
You got it?
Mm-hmm.
See?
Delicious.
She liked it. So that is a good thing. All right. So that's it. That is... Here we go again. I know my camera person is just salivating and can't wait. I would have taken a bite, but I am doing a fast right now, so I can't eat it. But let's see what the camera person says. Grab one and take a bite. She said no, she's not going to do it just yet. She needs both hands to hold the iPad. So we'll devour these, or they will, and I'm going to put some in the freezer so I could have it when I'm done with my fasting. All right, all. This has been fun. I will catch you all later, and I will download everything so you'll be able to catch everything, and you'll be able to get the recipe. Let's see. Wait, Veronica is saying, can I do a curbside pickup? Of course. Always. Let me know when you're ready for that, and we can set you up with some of these wonderful, wonderful profiteroles. Profiteroles. Hey, Nicole. How are you? And with the cheesecake in it. All right, ice cream won't make it because it'll melt. As you can see, it's already melting here. So it's going to be so delicious to eat. Okay, bye, Rachel. Bye, everyone. Have a great rest of the week. And until next week, we'll figure out what the bake is going to be next week. Have a good one. Bye.